Carlos Grande. I'm the editor of the creativeindustries.co.uk, a website from the Creative Industries Council. One of the things the Council gets involved in is the Ones to Watch programme, which is every year we publish a list of innovative companies that have combined creativity and technology in path-breaking ways. And I'm delighted that today we've got 4 of those companies who are going to be able to tell us what they've been up to in recent months. But first of all, we're just going to play a short film to give you a taste of the range and flavour of the companies on this year's Ones to Watch list that was published in June. So first on our list, we're going to be talking to Guy Gadney. Hi, Guy.
Hi, Carlos. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I hope you are too. I'm just going to advise you by reading out a few details about your glittering CV. So Guy Gadney is the co-founder and CEO of Charisma.ai, which is a path-breaking storytelling platform powered by artificial intelligence. He's previously worked on pioneering interactive entertainment projects for global media organizations in the UK, US and Australia, and has produced Emmy and BAFTA nominated drama and factual television. Guy is on the UK 5G Creative Industries Working Group. He's chair of the Arts of the Old Foundation in Oxford, and he's given keynote speeches on AI and creativity around the world. With Charisma.ai, Guy is transforming storytelling through the use of advanced technology, producing projects for Sky, the BBC, Story Futures, and to a new generation of writers through the Charisma Maker platform. So we're going to talk about one of those projects today. As lockdown hit and theatres closed around the country, Charisma teamed up with Creation Theatre and the Big Telly Theatre Company to blend live acting and the latest in AI and online video techniques to create an immersive interpretation of Lewis Carroll's classic Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, using live Zoom performances. Supported by Innovate's Business Disruption Fund, the 3 organisations collaborated to bring a unique live digital theatrical experience, which the stage called Sophisticated Video Magic. So Guy, can you tell us a little bit about the origins of this project? Because I believed it was a collaboration between these various groups. So can you tell us how it started and how you formed the partnerships needed?
Definitely. So it was an interesting beginning because actually, we met Creation Theatre and Big Telly when they staged a version of The Tempest in our office space. It was a sort of, it was pre-lockdown, it was a very physical performance with all the audience moving through various locations, one of which was our office. And I thought, these people are doing something interesting. So we kept in touch. And then when lockdown arrived, we felt that actually that now was going to be the perfect time to marry the technology we have with Charisma that we've previously applied to publishing, to comic books, to television industry, through Sky and various others, to the theatre industry. And I love the theatre industry anyway, because the whole concept of a stage play is about proximity to an audience. And you find at the end of a performance that the actors will say, "Oh, you've been a great audience," which reflects that level of interactivity and the sense of awareness that performers have of the audience. So we took it one stage further and produced Alice in Wonderland, which combined the Cheshire Cat was powered by Charisma, and then we had we took a Zoom call like this, put it into a 3D games engine, so you're spinning down the rabbit hole on your video tile with live actors, and all of it sort of live and choreographed. So it's quite a unique performance, yeah.
And how long did that run for?
So it was a 4-week run throughout August in obviously this year, and most nights were 2 performances. We would do a matinee at 4 o'clock and an evening performance at 7. And it was just wonderful to see. I mean, I think we'd underestimated how much kids would enjoy messing with technology that grown-ups are used to using quite formally. I mean, we're used to, keeping our mute on and all of that. And the kids were running riot, dancing on the chairs and playing card tricks and doing magic and all sorts.
And why is Alice the perfect story to use this technology to tell?
Well, I think there's an element of chaos in all technology somewhere, and certainly Alice is a totally chaotic tale. And there's wonderful magic in there, in the storytelling and the characters. But I think from our perspective, with Charisma, we feel that it's about the characters, and what we bring to life are characters. And the characters in Alice are perfect. And when you're bringing them to life in this way, which is where you see the characters, and there's that sort of intimate sense of proximity to the characters where they see you as much as you see them. I think it was the characters that sort of made sense of that choice of Alice.
And what other stories are you planning to tell with this type of technology?
Well, so we've adapted. The first thing we did earlier on in the year was to adapt a series of graphic novels that we licensed, and those were really the sort of big hitters, and big, large-scale experiments really around doing these sorts of adaptations. Then we went slightly longer form and commissioned some original works, and then recently, in last month in August, we opened up the platform to anyone to create these sorts of interactive comic books. So I think, what we're looking to do is adapt larger scale TV shows, that's there, and theatre productions, that's there. But then on another level, sort of open it up to story makers around the world and creators to experiment and see what they can come up with.
So when you say opening up, how does it actually work in practice? If I have a great idea, how do I get onto this platform and start using it to tell my story?
It's really simple, Carlos. It's setting up an account and then starting to think about what the story is and creating it. Charisma, I think part of what we always intended to do, and the vision for the platform was that it was for writers. It was for people who have stories to tell, and that the technology shouldn't get in the way of that. So hopefully, through a very visual interface, which largely should be invisible, people can start making conversations between their characters and bringing out the stories from there. And then they hit publish, and that publishes into the Charisma app, which is on the app stores.
And when we're looking forward, obviously we're all hoping that very soon the physical theatres are going to reopen. But do you see this form of storytelling coexisting with the live theatre world? How do you see that working as a kind of partnership?
I think it'll be a while before theatres and audiences are fully comfortable, unfortunately, with a physical theatre environment. And yet, at the same time, we have this sort of coincidence of events through the pandemic, on the one hand, which is taking people out of the physical environment, with a sort of a behavioral change towards video systems like Zoom, and then 5G, and then artificial intelligence, and then creativity. And all of these things are hitting at the same time. So my feeling is that over the course of this year, 2020, and then into 2021, we will start to see creators and all sorts of industries experimenting with this as a new form of storytelling. But more importantly, we'll see audiences becoming used to this. And my feeling is that sort of as we head into 2021, we'll start to see almost hybrid experiences, which might be part real theatre, part Zoom, and where audiences can choose to be in that physical location or on a Zoom experience if they're more comfortable viewing it from home. And that does make it, it's interesting, you know, everyone feels that theatre is a very intimate experience. So actually Zoom, you know, you can be there in your pajamas and watching a theatre performance with, you know, with the actors talking to you and you talking to them. So I think that breaking of the fourth wall is a substantial thing that has happened this year in the mainstream, and I think we'll see that impacting performances and creativity, you know, for many years to come now.
Great. Who knows? Someone might be watching this in their pajamas right now.
They probably are.
Well, listen, thanks very much. Are you able to hang on? Because I'm going to talk to Sophie next, but it'd be great if you can hang on for a bit. And obviously people have seen the video. Where else can they see more of your work? Do you want to give out the website URL?
Charisma.ai is the sort of central hub for everything that we do. And of course the app is on all good app stores near you. As if you search on Charisma Comics, then you will be able to see that and see what we're up to. Brilliant.
And obviously they, as you say, they can use that to tell their own stories.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Thanks very much for your time, Guy.
Pleasure, thank you.
I'm going to ask you to go on mute now while I talk to Sophie. Hi, Sophie, how are you?
Hi, I'm in my pajamas.
Yes, in a very exotic location, which we won't disclose, but we're all very envious about. So Sophie, here's your cringe moment. So I'm going to just read out a few highlights from your CV. So Sophie Dean is the founder and CEO of kids media company Bright Little Labs. Bright Little Labs makes cartoons, games and toys to promote STEM, 21st century skills, critical thinking and equality for kids aged 3 and over. So that includes all of us here. The company has users in more than 100 countries and raised investment from Warner Media in 2018. Before starting Bright Little Labs, Sophie worked alongside Code Club, Google and the Department for Education to introduce the computing curriculum into primary schools in England. She's a former lawyer, techie and children's play therapist, and she's passionate about creative education and positive role models for kids. 2020 is proving to be an exciting year for Bright Little Labs. Following the investment from Warner Media, they've just launched the first book in the new spy series with Walker Books, Agent Asher, Mission Shark Bites, and that's Bites with a Y. See what they did there. It's a spy adventure story that teaches kids about coding, how the internet works and how to sneak about. And alongside the book, they've launched a new spy app for kids, where kids can train to be an elite spy. They're also about to launch the first ever interactive coding show for toddlers, Zaffy Zoo. Zaffy is spelled Z-A-F-F-I. Zaffy is an animated story teaching children aged 3 to 5 the fundamentals of computer science using music and dance. The main characters, Zaffy and Yessie, work as a team to create, fix and help the robot animals in the zoo. Now we're going to play a short video from Bright Little Labs to give you a taste of their work.
Give me back my key. This is gonna go viral! Taffy, Taffy, Taffy Zoo. Taffy, Taffy, Taffy Zoo.
We want to see if you have what it takes.
So Sophie, you have to tell us about this year because it's obviously going to be a landmark year in the history of Bright Little Labs. Tell us, we saw you at the Createch at CogX event. Tell us what's been happening since then.
Well, all our plans got changed. All of everybody's plans got changed. So I guess we're no different. But we have, instead of doing what we thought we'd do this year, we've had more time, more creative time than we thought. So since we spoke, we've released a spy subscription offer. So for kids that have joined the Children's Spy Agency, of which there are many, they get sort of monthly spy collateral in the post, and it helps them train to be an elite spy and learn all about different spy techniques, different agents around the world, different gadgets that they might use. So that was quite exciting, and it's been really nice to see a level of direct engagement with kids in an offline way to teach them like computer science. And then the other things we've been doing is Zaffy Zoo, which is, I'm really excited about it because it's a show for toddlers. It's half music, half animation, and basically at the end of each short episode, the moon turns into a disco ball, and then all of the animals in the zoo have this massive rave. And so they're all doing the same dance movements, and kids can follow on with the dance, which is sort of appears in code blocks at the bottom of the screens. And then kids themselves can create their own animals, or they can fix broken animals in the zoo. And so it's a really nice project to work on because it's full of music and joy and dancing. And so we've been getting that ready, and we've been doing that with Unity, the game software, who have been, we've been creating a case study on how to create sort of 2D animations using the Unity Games engine and having a single source for all of your assets and everything that you're trying to make. So it's been exciting.
I'd love to know how you test your products. So you must have some picky customers.
We do a lot of user testing, and it's been really interesting actually, because often I think what we've discovered is actually you want to have a mix of kids. And it's that thing of like, as soon as you observe somebody, do they behave differently than if you weren't there? So you sort of don't want to be there, but you do want to be there. Before COVID, we would usually go to people's houses because kids tend to be more comfortable when they're at home in their own environment. But now that we can't do that, we get parents to film their kids like playing with our app or looking at the characters or whatever, and then they send us the film. And actually, you miss something from not being there, but their reactions are so much more natural because you're literally not there. So when kids hate something or love something, you can see it quickly. So yeah, and one of my nephews has been doing like the voice of some characters in Zaffy, which has been very funny, very fun.
And what's the sort of timetable for the Zaffy idea? When do you think we might see the light of that? Does the public be able to see that?
Well, the pre-COVID plan was next year, but I think we might be able to start releasing content in the final quarter of this year now. So I think probably by the end of the year for Christmas, we'll have some Zaffy tunes out there.
And how do you make sure that you've got a diversity of kids, both in the spy idea and in the kind of Zaffy world, both featured on screen and also taking part in the organisations?
So our recruitment, it sort of starts actually with the recruitment, because diverse teams make diverse stories and products. And so we do lots of things to make sure that everybody feels like they can join the company, and we are excited about telling stories that aren't always told, or giving voice to voices that aren't, wow, I'm really speaking badly, aren't always given a voice to. So there's really tangible things like putting on our job adverts. You know, we don't care about experience. We don't care what training you've had. We just care about what you can make and what you care about. We take all names off CVs. We look at people's work. We ignore things that aren't important. and we look at things that are important. We make an effort to advertise in places that we don't think people advertise. Like, for example, with Asha, we've got a character council, but we also made really good friends with the Hindu temple in Neasden. And they've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are part of their community. So word of mouth, once you're in different communities, can be a really strong way to get different people to come and work on the project. It's not been as hard as, I think it's just a positive, like, what's that thing when once you start something, it gets better?
Yeah, snowballing, I guess, once you...
Yeah. The more good people that we work with, the more that they'll recommend people to us. And so that's, and with the kids, sorry, I'm babbling. It's the same thing with recruiting for adults. We use the same language, we make the same effort, and we end up with the same diversity in the kids that we're testing on.
And it's amazing to have the customers in so many countries at an early stage for your company. How do you think the Warner investment might help you grow as a kind of global brand and franchise?
There's so many ways that can help us. Like, the organisation itself has got so many experts in the organisation, so it's really helpful to be able to ask, does anybody, we don't know how to do this, or we've never done that, and somebody's always there who does know how to do this or has done that before. But also, obviously, we're at very early stages of our products, but once they're ready, Warner has one of the largest distribution networks. It's one of the biggest media companies. So there's some really obvious ways that can help at the point that all of the products are ready. So it's an exciting, I still pinch myself about it.
And I have a question about, is there an idea about including the Spy subscription and linking it to school curriculum? Is that an idea you've been working on?
All of the stuff that we create is mapped to the English computing curriculum, Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, which actually, like, if you look at the maths curriculum or the English curriculum, they're, I don't know, like 5 to 15 pages long, whereas the computing curriculum is 2 sides only. So it's really conceptual. It talks about the concepts of digital skills. And our curriculum is a bit wider. It's not just like, how do you code? Or it's like, how do you spot fake news? How do you stop people stealing your data and spying on you, sort of more mirror-like vibes. And so while we don't explicitly say this is a tool for Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, we know that all of the learning objectives are hit in our products.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on taking it so far. And we're obviously going to follow this company with a lot of interest going forward.
Thanks.
I'm now going to turn to Chris Walker. Hi, how are you, Chris?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself, Carlos?
Not bad, not bad. So Chris Walker is the founding director of Bright White, which is a storytelling, design and delivery consultancy based in York. Are you speaking from that great city at the moment?
I am, yes, indeed.
So Bright White specialises in design as process for digital innovation, interpretation and experiential cross-reality exhibitions. For 16 years, Chris has been working with hundreds of different clients in the museums, charity and cultural sectors, and Bright White has won multiple awards for its work, mainly through innovation and the use of technology for good. One of the projects we want to talk about is the Audience with a Hero project. And we're going to show a brief video about that. And perhaps, Chris, you can talk us through it after we've seen the video clip.
I don't think any artist in history has ever trusted me as much as David Bowie did on the Let's Dance album. I finished that project, honestly, start to finish, in 17 days. On the 18th day, Niall partied. I was gone.
Good times. These are the good times. Leave your cares behind. These are the good times.
So, Chris, can you tell me, I believe, was it a consortium that was involved in this project, and who were the various partners, and can you talk us through how this project originated?
Of course. Well, how it started is an interesting story, because it started with the Forever Project, which was an initiative by the National Holocaust Centre to tell the stories of 10 survivors of the Holocaust in a really new and interactive way, by filming the survivors' responses to hundreds of different questions that we asked them on camera, and making that available as a digital installation so that their message isn't lost. We were commissioned by Bright White. It was commissioned by the Centre in 2013 to deliver that project. And since then, the Holocaust Centre created a new vehicle called Forever Holdings Limited to take that whole idea of that methodology forward. So with that method and the enabling technology and the team behind it, they've taken it forward and really sort of massively expanded and evolved that whole idea, really bringing the whole innovative approach to maturity. And the people in that team started to ask the question, who else should be filmed like this, whose story should be shared with the world? Who's got a great story that must be told, and whose story should be recorded before it's too late? Everybody's got their number one, and it's really interesting finding out who people would put at number one. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Carlos, but if you had an opportunity, who in the world would you capture in that kind of way?
Well, if it doesn't have to be a musician, I've just been slightly obsessed with the BBC series Mrs. America, so I think Gloria Steinem would be mine.
Amazing, yeah. Perfect.
What's the sort of timetable about seeing some of this content when the audience can, in terms of the public, can actually see it?
Well, with Nile, we're going through testing now. We're just about to move from alpha to beta testing, and there will be an opportunity for an installation, beta installation in York shortly. And keep an eye on the Twitter hashtag @ForeverProject to find out more about that. And then end of 2020, beginning of 2021, Nile will be available as an online experience. And that, it's really great. It's great for the consortium. The consortium have been absolutely fantastic in this project, and that's led by Forever Holdings. It involves us, Bright White, but importantly as well, Manchester Metropolitan University. And really, without Innovate UK's Audience of the Future fund, we wouldn't have been able to think about approaching somebody like Nile Rodgers for this.
And what have you most enjoyed about the project?
Well, just working with such great content. Niall was absolutely amazing. He was so inspirational. He's such a lovely person, a really great role model, someone with real relevance over many decades, from disco through, jammed with Jimi Hendrix to working with David Bowie, and on and on and on. And his story is just there. And his work he's been doing recently with his foundation, the We Are Family Foundation, and now his role as the Chief Creative Advisor at Abbey Road in London. It's a massive, and to a lot of people, untold story. It's great to get it out. And so that's just been great, working with such great content from Niall.
And are there any technologies that are maybe 6 months, 12 months down the line that you've been itching to get your hands on to play around with?
There's a lot going on. I mean, part of the fun, if you like, of this sphere at the moment is it taps into quite a number of different technologies which are only a couple of days ago with Horizon Technologies, and now are coming to the fore. So we're constantly looking at those to broaden the access to audiences. Predominantly, that's why we would look at those technologies.
And we were hearing from Guy and Sophie before that lockdown has enabled their companies to change direction. Sometimes I'm slightly forced to do it, but it's also created other opportunities. What do you think lockdown has enabled you to do that perhaps wouldn't have happened quite so quickly in the previous era?
Yeah, absolutely. It's made everybody question everything and all rituals, hasn't it? And we were lucky in two ways. We were lucky that we filmed Nile just before lockdown at the end of February. That could have been a very different story. But what that's meant is that now, over lockdown, we've been able to work with the material remotely very successfully. But because our approach from the beginning, FHL's approach from the beginning, has been to think about creating this media from a truly sort of cross-platform approach, we've been able to respond to these opportunities that are arising, and think about, delivering interactive versions of Nile's story across web, interactive TV, digital cinema, VR, a whole range of different platforms. So yeah, it's that questioning of everything has been extremely healthy.
Mm-hmm. And just one final question: do you see other applications for the technologies you've used on the project with Niles Rogers, in other categories or sectors, maybe ones that you don't operate in at the moment?
Yeah, there's already a lot of interest from a really wide field of interests, education, training, sport, medical, for example. But my area of interest specifically at Bright White is to think about how it might be used for telling individuals or community stories, to tell them or capture them, archive them in this way. Things like the communication of science, or the chance to talk to artists or creators about the works they've just created, or potentially a retrospective on their whole career. It's a really exciting field with lots of application.
Fantastic. Well, you've obviously been making the most of lockdown, so congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what the company does next.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Hello, Carlos.
Oh, that's good. So Saras Ratchupali is the CEO founder of Covet.art, and that's Covet spelled Kovet, as in coveting, desiring something, which is clearly the idea at the heart of this business. So we met Saras again back in June at the Createch at CogX event, as she was actually right in the launch for your startup business. I think it was that week, wasn't it?
That's right, Carlos, and thank you so much. And yes, we launched during CogX, and since then we've received some fantastic feedback to the business model from press, clients, the art world, and some institutions as well. And as you know, with Cover.art, we create innovative ways of using technology to discover high caliber, collectible emerging art for the art curious and collectors. And what we do is this is via online curated shows of rising artists graduating out of some of the leading universities, again, versus our competitors who don't necessarily curate for quality or address some of the major problems in the art market.
Yeah. So at this point, we'll play because you've got a short clip, haven't you, which should give people a feel of the website. So I will just play that now.
Hi, I'm Christy, and I'm a featured artist at Covet.art.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm a featured artist at Covet.art.
Hi, my name is L'Oreal, and I'm a featured artist with Covet.art.
Perhaps you can talk a little bit about your background, because you have a strong background in sort of museums and collection organisations from the art world side. Is that how you saw the opportunity for Covet.art?
Yes, absolutely. So I've worked across industries. So I bring in my technology experience because I'm an engineer, electronics engineer. Then I worked in business, in technology, and finance as well. I bring in all of these skills, and in terms of my art experience, my grandfather was a notable artist back in India, so I've managed his collections and publications and such. So I've always wanted to work in the art industry, and it's incredible that we have this opportunity to do that now, and use all of these ideas and skills, and something that I've kind of garnered out of working with innovation departments, right from Stanford to my experiences in New York and such. So it's great to get all of these together and create an opportunity for our emerging artists by incubating them and showcasing their works through some of the VR shows. So this is what we did during, the launch during the pandemic. We pivoted quickly from doing a pop-up show to a VR show, and our business model has always been around creating a highly curated show and then moving the show online, showcasing them for 4 to 5 days. And as you know, we are currently based in London, and then over time we want to expand to other cities internationally as well, including Berlin, Paris, Rome, then New York, Mumbai, Hong Kong, and such. So that's where we are at right now, and I absolutely enjoy bringing art to audiences who may not have thought of art before. So I love to help emerging and established collectors as well, right from businesses and corporates as well, to understand, connect with contemporary art.
And you're using AI to do sort of match products to the buyers, is that right, in terms of if people? Talk us through how you're employing.
Yes, absolutely. So there are a few ways in which we use technology. So one is looking at provenance, which are the documents which look at the artwork's value. And that is also one of the biggest problems rife in the art market, is you are unable to track right out of the artist studio. So using technologies like DLT, distributed ledger technology, and blockchain, we will secure these documents online. And next is using... Absolutely. Absolutely. And our CTO, he's a well-known figure in the field, and has invented with his team a fingerprinting technology and sold it to Apple as well. And he's excellent in creating this architecture as well that we are working with him. He's based out of Tokyo, so we are quite a global team. And with AI, we will be launching very soon the product called Art Vault, wherein the art curious, collectors, connoisseurs, also art advisors, interior decorators can go and match according to their requirements, also based on emotion. So that will be quite interesting, based on bliss, joy, melancholy, rage. You can filter based on these, which again, I don't believe any other gallery is doing this. So we're disrupting the traditional gallery model, which is quite intimidating as well for clients, and also expensive because of real estate. So we're moving shows online and also providing these other features and ways of discovering emerging art.
And when you said you're pivoting from, you had to pivot from the pop-up idea to the virtual reality exhibition, did that involve new partnerships and new collaborations with different types of companies that you hadn't envisaged at the beginning?
Yes, absolutely. So we always knew that we wanted to move shows online. We wanted to have a physical experience because that is incredibly important to art. But at the same time, also given the pandemic, we reacted quite quickly, and we moved the show online to VR. Yes, we have partnered with a few companies again. So we received some great mentorship and guidance from London partners, the Mayor of London's office. And through them, we connected with another startup. And so we worked on a VR gallery together. And it has received some great feedback because we've also created some VIP guided tours so that you could join in literally via Zoom, and we walk through the entire gallery. So there's this joy of discovering, understanding the scale, but also understanding the artist's perspective and what the works are about. So that is something, again, is quite new and refreshing. And our clients and whoever joined the conversations loved that. So it's a new way of interacting with art, again, from all over the world. So we had people joining in from New York, Colorado Springs, London, Italy, and so on. So it's great ways to have these conversations and therefore leading to sales. So we are very happy that we could, in this environment especially, make some sales, and our clients are very happy. They receive the artworks very quickly as well, and directly from the artists. And it's incredible that we are able to support the artists not only through sales, but also we incubate the artists through our mentorship and guidance program, which is over the span of 1 year. So this is with a select few artists, and then we work with over hundreds of artists through the Art Advisory Vault.
And if you had to sum up in a few sentences, what's given you the greatest pleasure of doing this startup?
Absolutely. I think it's the joy of waking up to look at exciting new artworks. And these are artists who are creating every single day in their studio in spite of the pandemic. They may be shifting media. So for example, one of our photographers, L'Oreal Precise, she's excellent. She does these incredible photographic works out there. Either in nature or in interesting interiors. She could not do that, so she moved quickly to making works with plaster. Another artist is creating some incredible video works, so using technology as a media itself. So that is really exciting, and I think sharing that with people and who are curious and trying to understand or source these kind of high quality art, and they don't necessarily know where to go. That is something exciting as well.
Okay, great. Well, it's great to hear you speak so passionately about it. Unfortunately, we are out of time, as always, talking to the ones to watch companies. There's never enough time to find out more about what they're doing. But if you are interested in finding out a bit more about any of the 4 companies we featured today, there is a Creative Industries Council virtual expo stand as part of London Technology Week, and you can find the full list of their URLs, and you can visit their websites and find out more about what they do and the people behind them. So it just remains me to thank all of you today. Perhaps if you could all unmute yourselves, if you're still there, and congratulate you on your progress so far. Wish you the best of luck going forward. It's a great achievement to be at one of the ones to watch companies, and we're very excited to have followed your progress so far, and I'm sure there's much more to come. Thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.